For more now, we turn to Pierce County Sheriff Spokesman Detective Ed Troyer. Detective, good morning, and thank you for being here this morning. Based on the email that Josh Powell sent to his attorney, quote, "I'm sorry, goodbye," it's pretty clear that this was intentional. Were there any other messages sent?
Well, that's the only message that we've received that we've heard about. We've still yet to confirm that it came from him, but there's nothing that leads us to believe it didn't come from him. And all the evidence in the scene and what happened here, how horrific it was and how fast it happened, it was done intentionally. And we believe Josh Powell murdered his two sons and then killed himself. And it was done intentionally, and that there's nobody else involved.
Josh Powell had just days ago lost his bid for custody of his two young sons. Do you think that was the precipitating event in this, or was there something brewing in the Utah investigation into the disappearance of his wife?
Well, this case is complicated in that it's part of our case. You know, we've got his father in jail, and West Valley's working the case with his disappearance of his wife, and we're working together with them. So there's a lot of aspects of this case that could have been weighing on him. But, you know, this isn't anything different than him losing custody. He wasn't expected to get custody. So that may or may not have been a contributing factor, and we may never know because there was nobody that's come forward yet that he's talked to about this or told anybody what his plans were or that he was going to do this, something so dramatic and so drastic.
The caseworker who took the boys to the house is clearly traumatized by this event. She had taken the boys before to the house. How exactly did the caseworker get separated from the boys?
Well, it's not a matter. She's not there for security or to make sure. She's there to supervise the visit. It's not her job to fight for the kids or wrestle for the kids with Josh. Her job was to visit, supervise it, make sure that everything went okay. And it's happened before and there hadn't been a problem. And boys went up to the house. They went inside. He locked her out. He'd been cooperative in the past, and within a couple minutes, the fire started and it got big and fast and hot. She called 911, banged on the door, tried to get in, called neighbors, and did everything she can. So there's nothing that she could have done any different that would have stopped this.
Your sheriff last night called this, quote, "an act of evil." It is one thing to kill yourself. It is another thing to take your two young children with you.
Well, that's absolutely correct. We have a lot of people out here that are hurting. We have a lot of detectives and people that are close to the family and are close to the kids and have worked with them while these incidents have been going on and the investigation has been going on. It's one of the most horrific things we've ever seen when it comes down to it. All this work goes into this, and then Josh goes and ends it like this. I think a lot of people is not going to come to grips with it for a while.
I imagine not, and what an unspeakable loss for the family of Susan Powell, her parents who had custody of these two young boys who've lost a daughter and now two grandsons.
Well, and the community in whole. The community in whole is really close, and the community in whole has been very supportive of these kids. So there's a lot of people in the community that are hurt as well.
All right, Detective Troyer, thank you so much for being here this morning under these terribly tragic circumstances.
Thank you.